Have you noticed that every time you go grocery shopping, your basket seems to cost more? Or maybe you've filled up your car and thought, didn't gas used to be cheaper? You're not imagining it. Prices really are rising, and the word for that is inflation. But what exactly is inflation? Why does it happen? And most importantly, how does it affect you? In this video, we're going to break it all down, from what inflation actually is to why it's happening today and what you can do about it. Stick with me. By the end, you'll understand inflation like never before. Section 1 is what inflation really is. Let's start simple. Inflation is the general increase in prices over time. That means the same dollar or euro or peso buys you less than it used to. Think about this. A cup of coffee in the 1990s might have cost you $1. Today, in many places, it's closer to $3, $4, or even $5. That's inflation. It's not just coffee, it's food, rent, energy, clothing, and almost everything we buy. In short, inflation reduces the value of money. Section 2, why inflation happens. So why do prices rise? There isn't just one reason. Economists usually talk about a few main types of inflation. Demand pull inflation. This happens when demand is higher than supply. Imagine everyone suddenly has extra cash and starts buying TVs. Stores run out. The price of TVs goes up. More demand, less supply, higher prices. Cost push inflation. This happens when it costs more to make products. For example, if oil prices rise, shipping costs go up. Companies then raise prices to cover their costs. You feel it when you pay more at the store. Built-in inflation. Workers want higher wages to keep up with rising prices. Businesses then raise prices to cover higher wages. This cycle keeps going. Wages push prices, prices push wages. Money supply and central banks. When governments or central banks print more money or keep interest rates low, more money flows into the economy. If too much money chases too few goods, prices rise. And sometimes, multiple factors hit all at once. Like during the pandemic, when supply chain issues, higher energy costs, and extra government spending all collided. Now let's talk about what really matters. How it affects you. Groceries and daily living, you feel inflation most at the store. Meat, milk, bread, eggs. The basics get more expensive. Gas and energy. Rising oil or electricity prices hit your wallet directly. Heating your home or fueling your car costs more. Rent and housing. Inflation can push up home prices and rent, making it harder for families to afford a place to live. Savings. If your money just sits in the bank, inflation slowly eats away at its value. For example, if inflation is 5% per year, $100 today only has the buying power of $95 a year later. Wages. If your salary doesn't rise as fast as inflation, your paycheck buys less each month. Even if you're earning the same number, you're effectively earning less. Debt. Here's an interesting one. Inflation can actually help people with fixed loans, like mortgages. Why? Because the money you repay in the future is worth less, but for savers it's bad news. Section 4, historical examples of inflation. To understand inflation today, it helps to look back at history, post-World War I. Germany, this is one of the most famous cases of hyperinflation. Prices doubled every few days. People carried wheelbarrows full of cash just to buy bread. 1970s United States. Oil prices spiked and inflation soared. Everyday Americans felt it at the pump and in their paychecks. It took high interest rates from the Federal Reserve to finally bring inflation down. More recently, countries like Venezuela and Zimbabwe faced extreme inflation, where money became almost worthless. These examples show why governments fear high inflation. If left unchecked, it can destabilize entire economies. Now let's talk about what's happening right now. After the pandemic, many countries saw higher inflation than they had in decades. Why? Supply chains were broken, demand for goods shot up, and governments pumped trillions of dollars into economies to avoid collapse. Add rising energy prices, and suddenly inflation was everywhere. Groceries, housing, cars, even second-hand goods. Central banks like the Federal Reserve, the European Central Bank, and others responded by raising interest rates. The goal? Slow down borrowing and spending, cool demand, and bring prices under control. But here's the tricky part. If they raise rates too much, they can cause recessions. That's the balancing act. So what can the average person do in a world where inflation keeps rising? Budget smarter. Track your expenses, cut back on non-essentials. Prioritize necessities like food, rent, and utilities. Invest in assets. Inflation eats cash. Assets like stocks, real estate, or even commodities may hold value better. Increase your skills. The best defense is offense. Higher skills can lead to higher wages that keep up with inflation. Avoid unnecessary debt. Interest rates rise when central banks fight inflation. That makes borrowing more expensive. Think long-term. Inflation goes in cycles. What matters is protecting your finances over time. Inflation isn't just an economic number. It affects politics, business, and society. Governments fear it because voters get angry when prices rise. Businesses fear it because it makes planning difficult. Families fear it because it strains budgets. But understanding inflation takes away some of the fear. When you know how it works, you can make smarter choices. So to sum it up, inflation is the rise of prices over time. It happens for many reasons: demand, costs, money supply, global events. It affects everyone, from your grocery bill to your savings account. And while we can't control inflation, we can prepare for it. The next time you hear the word inflation in the news, you'll know it's not just some abstract idea. It's something that touches your life directly every single day. Thank you for watching. If you found this video helpful, give it a like, share it with a friend, and don't forget to subscribe for more insights on money, the economy, and how it all connects to your life. Until next time, stay informed, stay prepared, and take care of your future.